first question is, have you ever shown up at another man's house in the middle of the night and others misinterpreted it? Uh, no, I have not, because I was raised in the church and I already knew not to do that because it was going to be
Talk about it.
misinterpreted. But I have shown up at my brother's houses, and that was, of course, misinterpreted. Because, like I've said in previous videos, nobody ever believed I had a brother. I had brothers because I was adopted. So, I got a lot of flack for that for most of my young adulthood until people were like, "Oh, these really are your brothers." I have no reason to lie about that.
No reason. That's gonna be kind of weird to be messing with somebody and calling him your brother. That's nasty.
And three
Like,
of the
no.
same ones. Like, who does that?
Right. That's gross.
Like,
Not
yeah.
doing that. Alicia.
So just like with Kyrie, when I first moved here, nobody really knew me. I live in a building that is predominantly Russian and Moldovan. So to them, all Black people look alike. So my brother had shown up here, and they thought that I just had, because I got three brothers. One has only been here once. My youngest brother has only been here once, but my other brothers, they both had came at different times on the same day. We were like, they were helping me bring Thanksgiving food out, and so they thought that I just had different men running in here. And it's funny because my neighbor's mom, she has a big crush on my oldest brother, so she comes over and she's like, "You got wonderful taste. I mean, that is a man you got going there." And I said, What? And she's like, "That really tall one? They're both tall, but I mean that really tall one." My oldest brother, he's 6'10", so he's really, really tall. Yeah, he's 6'10".
Those were some giants.
Yeah, and my other brother is 6'5", and then my little brother is 6'3". So, the really tall one, Mr. Andre, she loved her some Andre. Miss Lady next door, she's like, "But that you got great taste." And the other one, he's handsome too. And I said, "Ma'am, those are my brothers. I'm gonna have dudes running out in and out of here on the same day." I'm like,
back to back, baby. We ain't doing that.
Like, that's why she got all them kids. But like, no, those were my brothers. Me personally, I have not shown up anywhere unannounced because that could go left real quick.
Real quick.
I only go where I'm welcome. You never know what you're
invited
to, and yeah. So I always plan out like, okay, if we're gonna see each other, blah blah blah. If I'm coming over on this date, you're gonna know I'm coming. I'm not gonna pop up at your door unannounced.
So, you don't do them pop up.
But yeah, as far as the misinterpreting, yeah, Miss Lady next door thought my brothers was part of a team that I had over here.
No, I've never popped up at anybody's door. I don't believe in that. I've never even arrived at my mother's house unannounced. First off, I'm not going to drive 2 hours up the road just to find out that she's not even at home and I got to wait outside because for whatever reason, I still don't have a key to her house. But that's okay though, because I've asked for it and I've been gone 18 years and I asked for that key.
That's great.
Why don't I have a key, Kitty?
To my mama's house.
But you understand, like, why don't I have a key to your house? Well, do I have a key to your house? I got it, sis. Mm-hmm.
Like, when are you gonna pop up over here? Even when you're invited, you don't come half the time. But okay, you need a key.
She gonna get on the freeway. We'll see what Korea's doing. You know what I mean? So no. Even when my sister lived in Oregon, I never just went to her house unannounced. I always, "Hey, is it okay?" But I always tell people it's totally fine if you're like, Corinna, I'm just not feeling it today because I don't like people popping up at my door. So, what I'm saying, you could hit me up and ask. Nobody go, "Oh, I'm actually 5 minutes away and I'm coming." No, you're not, because you didn't ask. You need to ask me, "Hey, do you feel like having some company?" So then I can say, maybe no. I don't know if I feel like getting dressed and taking this bonnet off and having to put some real clothes on and clear up the. I just because me, if you're coming over, I gotta look somewhat presentable. I'm not gonna do too much. No, I don't. I don't like the pop-ups, you know what I'm saying? So I don't value a pop-up, so I don't pop up on other people. So
Okay, so I know Chan will have a problem with Malia showing up at at Antonio's house in the middle of the night. Do you think women and men can be platonic friends? Would you have an issue with your spouse having a female best friend? Um, I giggled about that because in the book it said like you know, uh, she was so bent on getting this information about Chance, she didn't even realize that somebody was following her, and it was one of his dudes. I'm like, this girl, she will never know peace.
I never know peace.
She will never know peace. She don't even know what she don't stumbled into. But can women and men be platonic friends? I think they can be. I don't know. It hasn't been my experience. Even if I've truly seen a male as a friend, at some point, especially like they'll be fine with you being married, they'll or pretend or be fine with you having a boyfriend, but at some point they are going to try and this is just my experience. Well, you know, I always did have feelings for you, and blah blah blah, and then you're like, oh man, like I was
There
really
you
hoping
go. You tore this down.
yeah, like we were just you know, we were friends, so we, you know, now it's going to be weird. And then as far as me trusting a spouse with a female best friend, no. um or I don't know. Like I said, this is my experience. Now, personally, the people that my ex was supposed to be just friends, childhood friend. He's with a childhood friend right now. um. So, and you know, they're I don't even think about her that way, and blah 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 blah. So, it could be possible, but it's been my experience that I don't know. I think a woman could look at a guy. It could be either way. You know, the guy will really think of this girl as a friend, but she has an ulterior motive. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be everything. You know, find out ways to get close to him, and then try to swoop in and act like well, no, I know you better than anyone. Like, we've been so close, and blah blah blah, and
We've been so close that he didn't choose you. Okay.
right. Like he's marrying other people and smashing other people and telling you about it, and you just sitting there all up in your feelings by yourself later on that night. So, oh, I was about to say, Corenna, why'd you go grab a feather? I didn't realize it was a cat because I just saw the tail
He was
first.
meowing. Yeah, he was meowing. He was stuck in the garage. I didn't know.
Well, he got big.
Girl, he's fat.
I
My
haven't
big
seen
boy.
that baby in a while. But
Yeah, he need to go somewhere. Don't knock over the ring light.
So
See, you moved it.
I guess no. I'm gonna just say no. I know you guys probably feel differently, but I don't know if men and women that are not related or anything like can be like truly platonic friends. There's always something there. At least that's been my experience. It might come out 10, 15 years later or 10 minutes later, but it's always somebody gonna reveal like Antonio. He was hoping that Malia was going to reveal her true feelings or whatever.
True feelings.
Right. Yeah. I don't know about myself.
Well, I feel two ways about it. My initial feeling is yes, they can be. I do have a male friend that I have been friends with for a number of years, but the boundaries need to be set. When you do have those relationships with the opposite sex and you're married, because you don't want to be doing anything to make your spouse uncomfortable with that person, So I think only in that way, you can have a friend, a best friend of the opposite sex. But my husband had a female best friend at the beginning of our relationship, and he decided to cut it off because he sat and thought about if I had a male best friend, then he wouldn't want me kicking it with him all the time, or talking to that person all the time and stuff. So he checked himself with that and decided not to continue the relationship heavy, like they were before our relationship. So that's really something that people have to assess for themselves, and what that relationship looks like and what they expect out of the other partner. I personally don't mind, as long as there are boundaries set in place, because ain't nobody gonna be sitting on nobody's lap. Them hugs be
Right.
a little bit short, like.
Yeah.
Right. They come, hey, baby, and hug forever. Baby.
Right. Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm like Kyrie said, I feel two ways about it. For me, I've always had, I can have a male friend and it's just strictly as a male friend. I have struggled in the past with having male friends and it not staying in that lane. Somebody always say, oh yeah, what I'm saying, I think you look good, or, we could, possibly, if, things align later on in the future. So it's always that, let me just put it out there. You know what I mean? So yeah, so I've never been able to just really truly have a male friend who's never been like, what I'm saying, I do think you fine, or you do have a cute little booty. Like, it's never been like that. It's always, they always make a comment. And it's like, okay, you ruined that. Now I know how you really feel. Opportunity and time, you're looking for it. Yeah, I'm not doing it. So, but for me, I've been able to have people who are just for myself. I could see you as a friend. But it's never really worked out well for me. So, could I deal with a man who had a female friend? Absolutely. Like, that doesn't bother me. I'm very secure within myself. I'm not, that wouldn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like, my husband, he does like a lot of online gaming and he has female friends on there. Sometimes I'll, walk into the living room on my way to the kitchen, and, I can sometimes hear everybody, like, I guess on the mic or whatever. And there'd be a couple females on there and they're all just laughing and talking and he's just telling jokes. And I'm like, oh, okay. And it's never like, just who's that person? And you just came alive for them. Because the way I've always feel about life is like, what I'm saying? If what I'm working with over here, if that's not truly what's, working for you, what I'm saying? I want you to go. I want you to be free. I want you to find happiness. You know what I'm saying? I want to see you happy, even if it's not with me. You know what I mean? Because I'm not here to waste your time. If I don't do it for you, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? Go find who does do it for you, because I'm going to find who do it for me. So, but yeah, I don't have a problem. Now, my husband, on the other hand, he struggles with that, even if he knows that somebody is just a friend, he's like, well, what if something happens and there's a possibility? And I'm like, there ain't no possibility though. Like, we're just not a possibility. But so for him, he really struggles with that. And I have to tell him sometimes, you come off as really hypocritical for somebody who has female friends that you talk to, even if it's just in the gaming world. Y'all sometimes will be on there for 4 and 5 hours straight on that night, talking junk and playing video games. If I was on the phone and my cat's over here throwing this thing down and playing with it. But I'm like, if I was on the phone with a dude for 4 or 5 hours, you'd be like, I mean, like, what could you be talking to on the phone with a man for 5 hours about, Corenna? You know what I'm saying? So I feel like he kind of has some double standards over there with that. But at the end of the day, I'm pretty secure. If he had friends, it's not a big deal to me. Because again, I'm very secure within myself. Because if I see some red flags, I'm checking it. You know what I'm saying? And if Susie's who you need to be with, don't let me stand in the way of happiness. Because I'll find somebody else. Don't worry about me. Okay, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't ever want anybody to feel like I'm holding on to you for dear life. And I have. All right. So the next question is mine. The next question says, I hate nosy, busybody neighbors. I'm glad Malia walked away when Victoria tried it with her. Have you ladies ever experienced nosy neighbors, busybody neighbors? I already explained my Debbie Downer scenario with that, Karen, and I'm not going to go back down. I thought I took that away from you. We're going to fight. Kyrie, I think, because Alicia talked about her situation, but I'm not sure if you told any busybody
But
neighbor
mine weren't
story.
nosy. I actually have great neighbors. At first, they were, because they were unsure of me because I'm black. But now that I've been here for so long, and they kind of know me. I actually have wonderful neighbors. Miss Lady next door, she bakes my kids cookies, and they always help me with anything I need. When my car got stolen, they came over here and gave me a hug, and they brought me a cake and some gifts, and they're like, "We're so sorry this happened to you, and if you need to find another car, blah blah blah." And I'm like, oh, I didn't expect that. So actually, I have, and I'm sure they are. No, I'm probably the nosy neighbor. I'm the one always peeking through my blinds and trying to see what's going on every time I hear something. No, but I have good neighbors. Even the maintenance men that I used to fight with all the time I get along with them. So, me and
I
Corenna,
don't know.
you
I
remember
think there's a
Mr.
difference.
Bill and Margaret back on
Oh my
East
God.
J? Now we were kids, Mr. Bill and Margaret. So that was something me and
Yeah.
Corenna dealt with. But sorry, that's
Them people they
go
were
ahead, Carrie.
animals. But go ahead,
Mm.
girl.
Well, for the most part, I think I've been pretty fortunate my whole life to have some pretty decent neighbors around me wherever I lived. And I appreciate nosy neighbors, because they look out, for you. I don't like busybodies, though,
Yeah, that's a
like they're
difference.
always meddling or, always got some mess going or trying to make mess of your life. I think there's a fine line between those things, but like my neighbors, we look out for each other. We see anybody weird walking around in the neighborhood, so nosy neighbors are good. I think I'm a nosy neighbor, because if I see something, I'm like, that don't look right, and that somebody could interpret that as being nosy, so yeah.
No, Kyria, I agree with you when you talk about, being a concerned neighbor. I feel like there's a difference between being concerned and conscious and being a busybody. A busybody is somebody, like I said, Debbie Downer, Karen over here, who makes up random lies about people. Like she's just made up so many lies. And I'm like, so I'm to the point, I don't speak to her, don't talk to me because she tells so many lies. And I'm like, everybody you got the whole neighborhood looking like they're ready for the purge. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody's not crazy like that, but I don't know why this lady makes up stuff. So there's a difference between being concerned. You see something that's suspicious and you're looking out for your neighbors because people are robbing folks in broad daylight. So there's nothing wrong with, I think, being concerned and looking out for your neighborhood and for, the other neighbors. There's something wrong with being a busybody. I don't deal with them very well at
Definitely,
all.
Yeah,
definitely.
Victoria was doing way too much.
Yeah, Victoria was talking smart, and let's talk about it.
Oh,
She wasn't,
yeah.
she literally showed up on purpose. She saw a woman park her car at 9:30 at night at Malia, at Antonio's house. And knowing that April was out of town, she walked over and Antonio's like, well, why are you even here? Like, at this time of night. She's like, oh, I didn't think it was too late to come over. You already have company.
I'm like, but did
She's
I invite
questioning
you?
Malia. Girl, she's questioning Malia. Oh, strange you to be out opening up somebody else's door. Antonio told her to open the door. He thought it was his homeboy Jason coming through. You know what I'm saying? So she was
Mm-hmm.
doing team entirely too much. She started talking about how bad it looked, and you got somebody at your house and your fiance's out of town. It doesn't look too good. And he just got irritated and he closed the door on her, like, just stop. So he knew it was
So
going to
he
cause a problem. He's
slammed
like,
it.
well, now Victoria, with her big mouth, she's going to make sure that the whole neighborhood finds out about this, including my girl. So he was a little
Mm-hmm.
annoyed. And I would have been annoyed too. It was unnecessary.